you know what? Let me fix this. Andrew's muted now.
Yeah.
And the other view is.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for the last 7 days. I'm Brian Spellman.
And I'm Andrew Sparrow.
And today is November 24th. And this is the show where we talk about news over the last week and how it impacts our world of PLM, CAD, MES, MOM, manufacturing, and all the other TLAs.
We're going to talk about automotive, turkeys, high-tech, green bean casserole, people, and sweet potato culture. But first, let's head into technology, aerospace, automotive, and whatever else comes up. Ready, set, go.
You know, Andrew, I'm glad that you actually noticed that this is a little bit different than most weeks.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. It's been a bit of one of those weeks. I think I only just remembered on Wednesday.
Because how many times this week have you tried to schedule a meeting on Thursday or Friday?
I know. And everybody keeps telling me it's Thanksgiving. I've forgotten. I've lived here long enough that I should remember. I don't know. I'm just I'm in the zone.
You're just trying to keep that British background and denying American holidays.
It's all been about forgetting about Thanksgiving all week. There we go.
Spoiler alert. Right now, we are recording this on Wednesday and not actually on Friday, even though you're watching this Friday, because we're all taking off Thanksgiving, even Andrew. And so these new news items are fresh as of Wednesday, the 22nd.
Airlines are bracing for record Thanksgiving weekend air travel. Furthermore, United has actually been upgrading a series of self-service tools in its mobile app to help customers rebook themselves during flight disruptions, which it's wintertime, it's inevitable, as well as real-time flight information. Furthermore, the carrier last month also launched a new boarding order in economy: window seat, then middle, then aisle. Sounds like a good plan if you ask me. Apparently, it's going to shave about 2 minutes off enplaning. Good idea.
You know, speaking of boarding people differently, we might as well board our news show differently today and just bring us all on right now in a order of like so. This boarding practice that you're talking about is apparently called Wilma. Now, why it's called Wilma, I don't know, because W stands for windows, M stands for middle, and A stands for aisles. But they've added the L in there. I don't know why, but this is Wilma is what they call this method of boarding for some reason.
Because Wilma doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
I've been waiting for them for years to do this. I think this is the smartest thing the airline industry has come out with since they removed olives from the little sandwiches, just to save money and time. Maybe they'll be able to put some of the profits into employees' pockets. Yeah.
How much a minute on the ground on average cost an airline?
No,
I don't.
It's $100 a minute.
Wow.
Now, that doesn't sound huge, but that adds up. That means that if you're saving, there's 49,000 daily flights and $200 savings per flight, you're looking at across all these flights, $1 million in savings a day.
There you go. Price of tickets coming down. I love this. The UK banned a Toyota truck ad for promoting off-road driving. 2 advertisements that show an army of trucks careering through the wilderness have been banned by a UK regulator for encouraging drivers without a brain to behave in ways that could damage the environment. Come on, nanny society.
I'm kind of speechless here because these kind of advertisements we see all the time.
Yeah,
it's called America.
Is that because we're not environmental? No, it's because we don't need to be told that kind of stuff. That I go, oh, now I'm going to go off road and dig up the landscape. No.
Yeah, there's a lot of conversation here in Colorado about. There's so many. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of miles of off-road trails, and the goal is to stay on the trail, but you can still go off-roading with it. And so I think this is a little bit silly to block an ad for this, just because most people.
None of society. Come on, guys, grow up.
You are British, aren't you, Andrew?
Occasionally.
Speaking of occasional things, apparently North Korea has now joined the space race officially, shot something up into space. They have been having technical problems.
Did they mean to?
I think they did. They appear to have overcome the technical problems that sent two previous attempts plunging into the sea. Officials and experts around the world are now seeking to determine if the launch that North Korea just did this week released a payload of a spy satellite, which is what they're thinking it is. There's some spy satellite that is now in space, but they're not sure if it works. So officials and experts around the world are trying to determine if the spy satellite is working and what it can actually provide, because there's not a lot of intelligence something that size is going to be able to provide, according to reports. So in order to get one that's a more capable satellite, North Korea is going to need to develop a larger rocket, which they appear to be doing, and they appear to be having Russian aid.
The irony is we're probably going to know quicker than the North Koreans whether it's working or not. And is it me, or does anybody else have the feeling that what this really means is there's something gone up into space with 50 North Koreans in there with cameras, maybe Polaroids, taking photos? That's what they call a spy satellite. I don't know.
Well, hey, with like the technology of phones these days, you can just keep zooming in. It might work.
I don't think they got them. They definitely ain't got iPhones over there. And somehow I don't think the South Koreans will be letting them have in any of those LGs or whatever.
So speaking of all the work that it takes to launch a rocket, could you fit all this into like an entire work week?
Oh, potentially. I mean, there's a lot of productivity and a lot of people that go into making a rocket.
If you're highly productive, you could break the back of it.
If you're highly productive, 1 week, maybe 2. But that's advanced stuff. We do know, though, that an organization called 4 Day Week Global has worked with over 200 companies worldwide. 41 of those are in the US and Canada, and only a small portion of that 200 were manufacturing companies. But implementing a 4-day work week, 32 hours of work for 40 hours of pay. Of the 41 American and Canadian companies that began this trial in 2022, none of them have reported going back to working 40 hours a week because, and there's a couple goals behind this, right? To do less, but to maintain 100% productivity. But I guess the goal behind it is making sure that people have enough time to rest and relax. Advanced RV out of Willoughby, Ohio, builds custom luxury motorhomes out of Mercedes-Benz cargo vans. And they are not looking back. They're getting positive feedback from the leadership all the way down to front line. And so it's interesting, right? We've got a high attrition rate here, especially in the US for the manufacturing sector. It's always been high, probably in the 30-35% rate range. It's not as high as retail or food and hospitality, but it's still something to take note of. So it's an interesting concept.
So let me get this right.
Yeah.
A total of 200 companies globally, out of millions, have said the 32-hour work week is really good because it aids with rest and relaxation and recuperation. When they're only working 25% of the week.
Yeah.
Okay. 40 hours out of a total of 160 plus hours in a week, they're working and they need time for rest and recuperation. That's what they were saying. Really?
Yeah.
Andrew, you're forgetting about sleep as well.
That's true. Yeah. 160 hours.
42 hours.
Done. But I think what they're saying is we're seeing more productivity, and this is what the 200 companies are reporting.
I'd love to look at what they're doing in those 40 hours. Then.
Okay. All right. Then maybe next show I'll bring some more data to you. But that 32 hours.
I'm looking forward to this one.
That's great. That 32 hours of hyper-focused work is more efficient and more productive than 40 hours of all the transition. It really forces them to get creative around. Okay,
let me put this to you. This great nation that we live in was built on hard work. Okay, built on hard work. We are now in a globally competitive environment with the Chinese, with the Indians pounding it out, coming up, and we're talking about decreasing the work. Is this the sign of
I
a
think-
declining superpower?
I think
I see what's happening here. So Andrew is talking about how we should be able to work 160 hours a week with maybe 40 for sleeping, and it's all efficient. Greg is talking about how we've got these folks who are getting more efficient when they aren't constantly working nonstop. So it sounds like we're kind of having one of these views is like
Constantly
humans
working
humans.
non-stop.
AI, guys. AI.
The other view, you know what? Let me fix this. Andrew's muted now.
Yeah.
And the
thank
other
you.
view is
Oh,
that
thank you, Brian. Thank you. Because let me talk about it. Because over here we have a big bridge. We have in one way the human necessities. But also Andrew is looking for productivity, which makes sense, right? But we have a bridge over here that we can fill out. Everything. Oh my gosh, we can do everything with AI. So let me explore this one. Let me elaborate and explain how generative AI can improve discrete manufacturing when you are trying to implement that. So right now we discuss a lot with AI. How everything is reshaping the new landscape for manufacturing. Actually, not only for manufacturing, for other kind of things or products that we have in the daily life, right? But right now, guys, when we are looking at our shop floor or manufacturing or different systems, we have technology like we have the automation, of course, with robots, could be sensors, could be vision systems, and also we have SCADA systems, we have MES, we have probably an entire MOM system, or also a PLM integrated to the ERP, right? But what happened over here? Because even if we have all the systems, we need a human intelligence to make decisions, right? We have all the data, we have everything working, everything on the road, but in some point, we can implement or try to put to work together with us the AI and make smarter decisions and with more accuracy. So right there, we can have a really good approach. I don't know if you are familiar with my point of view, guys, but
I mean, you're talking about this as if it's all a good thing, but I've seen a few too many movies about what happens when AI gets control. So I'm not sure I'm on board with this.
No, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. I got to be honest, because I think what it is doing is it's starting to put humans ahead of robots as soon as possible. Our creativity, our innovation, all of those good things, those emotions that you cannot replicate with a robot, despite that cynical statement you made a few minutes ago. So I think it's a good thing. I mean, it's going to make generative design is going to make us more environmental, more cost effective, therefore more sympathetic to the planet. Speed, scheduling, process optimization using generative AI. So many good things about it. But yes, it does need to be managed. Yes, it needs to be controlled and contained. Absolutely. Very difficult, because what we might, it comes back to, the Brits are trying to control advertising. Every border and every country has different ethics and morals and these kind of things. So, how do you control it globally is a big issue. I agree.
We have technologies like OpenAI. We have, ChatGPT. We have all of this knowledge available right now to implement in our operations, to drive a new marketing campaign, a new team for manufacturing. Let's put together a new strategy with lean manufacturing, could be, or Ishikawa, or different methodologies, when you are trying to manufacture your product. So you have really good knowledge available right there. Also, you can have, once you have all the systems, you will have a really good landscape, a really good view about what is happening with your maintenance, with your quality, and to make decisions. So imagine that you don't need to have somebody really smart, to make decisions, even with all the data. Probably you can have an AI making that, right? Evaluating the bottlenecks, evaluating the challenges that we have, and what could be the best solution for your problem. Not only an immediate solution, I mean a long-term decision to make a long-term solution, right?
The bottom line is it's another technology. It's probably the biggest game changer technology that's coming into Industry 5.0, if we call it that, fifth industrial revolution. You won't be able to fight it. It's coming. You've just got to be able to adapt and work with it. That's an absolute fact. The naysayers will fall behind. It's just something we've got to learn how to adopt it and utilize it properly during a 40-hour work week.
I want to dive into something that's a little different that we do on this show, which is we've talked a lot about PLM over all these episodes and the news related to this manufacturing, this life cycle, this all the products. What are we thankful for that's happened in the past few years, relating to this realm? And Andrew, I want to start with you because I know you might actually have to hop off due to a meeting that's scheduled here.
Personally, I'm thankful for Greg for not mentioning the UAW strike for the first time in about a month. Hallelujah.
It's not over yet.
Oh, okay. However, from my perspective, I mean, for sure, working in an office, working from home, firstly in the office, I think I've learned to be grateful for working in an office and what it brings to the table. I think that camaraderie, that culture, that kind of work ethic and how you can relate to people, because at the end of the day, contrary to the cynicism you throw out there, we're a bunch of humans trying to work together, and I think that face-to-face can never be replaced, and we really need that. So I'm really thankful for those times we get together. Flip side, really grateful for working from home. I mean, that ability to just shut out things and to focus without interruption, I think it can improve productivity. I think it's a mindset shift to work from home, but I think if you can make that shift, you can be really productive. And then lastly, manufacturing. I think the last 3-4 years has really, really driven home on top of what's been happening for the last 2 decades, which is personalized products delivered quicker. I think the supply chains have hemorrhaged. I think sustainability, environmentalism has come to the forefront. And I think our ability now to manufacture locally, we've been exposed, but equally it's put a focus on it so that we can improve digitally automation to make manufacturing much, much better locally. So really grateful for the things that have gone on, even though it's been damaging to obviously thousands of people with these COVIDs and things like that.
Wow. I mean, there's a lot to be thankful for packed into there. Let's say, Greg, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for the conversation around investment into people, whether it's a 4-day work week or using AI to improve efficiencies, or even the UAW salary and benefits negotiations, right? There you go, Andrew. Had to put it in there for you. But people, at the end of the day, people are not machines, right? I'm loving the conversation on how to maximize their individual values and strengths to enhance sustainability with our most important resource, people. It's about playing chess, not checkers.
I'm thankful that, I don't know if y'all remember, but over the past few years, we've definitely had a lot of supply chain struggles. Prices going up, things not being available, whether it was toilet paper not being available or car prices skyrocketing due to supply chain issues. So I'm thankful that the supply chain seems to be coming back, at least somewhat, and that we're heading in the, I hope, right direction there. Also that more and more companies are realizing the importance on focusing on the entire picture and not just the individual silos. So there's a growing interest in Critical Thread, which is super helpful for us, Andrew, because we have another show that we do called the Critical Thread. We take deep dives into what's happening in the life cycle in various areas. So that's if you haven't seen those, check those out too. Joseph, what are you thankful for?
Well, guys, thanks, Brian. I think I have a little story to complement this, because I want to be more familiar with you. So I don't know, guys, if you heard about this story, but in some day of Thanksgiving, a man tried to cook the turkey in different way with the dishwasher, right, for all the family. So he did the entire process, with herbs, with different spices, with different things for the turkey, and then put aluminum foils to the turkey and put that into the dishwasher. So after hours, after the cook time, all the family
soap.
was
with soap or not with soap. No soap.
No soap. Looks like Soap.
Okay. No, not
Yeah.
soup, soap.
Yeah, soap. No soap. Just that, right? And looks like the family were skeptical about everything, like going to see what happened, what is the result with the turkey or the new way to cook that. And finally, it
Food
looks
poisoning
like
would be one of the results.
well, the recipe was an entire success and really good taste, looks like. So over here is where I'm thankful, Brian and guys. I'm really familiar with the kitchen. I love to cook, and I'm really glad to be creative. I identify with this story because after COVID, you have a lot of opportunities to do the things in different way. So I think the crisis gives you the bigger opportunity, to make everything different, and I have the best opportunities. So I'm grateful for that.
Now, Joseph, if you were working 160 hours a week, would you be able to have that flexibility to be creative?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That is just so wrong. You do have to take at least 5 or 6 hours a day. Great. Just keep
okay.
it, keep a lid on it. Keep it.
Yeah, for sleep. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Andrew, you're basically just reminding us that we always need to be Turkin 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everybody joining us for this show. I'm really hoping that we've all given all of you a pumpkin to talk about. And
Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Guys.
Hey, why did the cranberry turn red?
Why?
Because he saw the turkey dressing.
Good job. All right, my turn. Why did the chef refuse to crack an egg?
Why?
He didn't want to whisk it.
Oh my gosh.
What do you call a turkey running? Fast food.
Ooh.
Guys, I need to drop off.
All right, one more, Joseph. One more. What?
That sounds like it.
What sound does a turkey's phone make? Wing, wing, wing.
It doesn't get better than this. Nobody puts gravy in the corner.
Nobody. I love that. Sure, abs are great, but have you ever had pumpkin pie?
I can't even. Adria's gonna hate this particular part. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. It's funny. I always leave Thanksgiving dinner planning on taking home leftovers, but then all of my plans get foiled.
Yes. You know what you call that time right after you've had dessert for Thanksgiving and everybody's kind of quiet? Silence of the yams.
Oh, that's good. Might be a movie I have to watch. That's one I haven't seen.
And we're Greg and Brian reminding you that the only thing corny about Thanksgiving is cornbread.
It's perfect. I love it.